Recently, pretty much every well-known old impossible level has been verified in some way, shape, or form, to the point where now either unknown impossible levels are being remade and verified, or in this case, newer impossible levels. Ton 618 is a humanly impossible and I think physically impossible level by Pooch and Arcticot that is themed around, well, Ton 618, which is an actual black hole that— wait, C made a video on that? Whatever, it's actually humanly impossible in that it uses spam instead of just precise timings. Like, very, very intense spam. It also uses the Detroit Circle song and is themed around space, which is fantastic. Today, I'm going to explain why Ton 618 is a great impossible level, as well as a good upcoming top 1, with the official remake being an upcoming top 1. Ton 618 stands out to me as an impossible level because of the decoration and theming. Most impossible levels, or at least most well-known impossible levels, have very lackluster theming and gameplay. For example, Silent Clubstep is one of the most popular impossible levels of all time, and yeah, the decoration isn't exactly great. Let me know if you guys want a video on if I think Silent Clubstep is, like, overall a good level or not. I've seen a lot of debates for both sides, and I'm thinking about making a video about it. There's also levels such as Silent Club and Silent Circles that don't necessarily have good decoration either. However, I think Ton 618 has very good decoration, especially for an impossible level, given that most impossible levels don't have very good decoration, considering that it's not going to get rated anyways, and it's not necessarily going to be put up to good use because the only people playing through the level are people who are showcasing it on YouTube. There's no one who can really judge the gameplay considering that it is quite literally humanly impossible, so no one's ever really going to play it anyways. However, I will say the theming of this level is amazing. I've always loved space theme and I think it's something that should be used more in the game, and I'm glad that it is now, considering there are more upcoming collabs such as Cosmos, this level, or Challenger, which is my collab, which, by the way, if you are pretty good at decoration and would like a part in my space/tech theme collab Challenger, then you can DM me on Discord with your best work. And it's nice to see that there's a specific theme other than just space, in that it is themed around a black hole, which I also think lets it have a sort of edgy feel to it without it being completely cringe like most impossible levels, because the concept of a black hole is just scary in itself, but it doesn't necessarily focus too much on being completely edgy and telling the player to die every 15 seconds. So overall, Ton 618 is probably one of my favorite impossible levels, so I was pretty excited to see the upcoming remake of it becoming a top 1. And while I do have a couple problems with that idea, I still think overall is a very good project. So in terms of my thoughts on the upcoming top 1 remake, the gameplay is innovative enough. I'm sure it's hell to play, but that's almost a given with like anything harder than Tartarus, and it's based off an impossible level, so I mean, it's not like it's going to be fun. The decoration is quite honestly outstanding and well executed while staying very unique in my opinion, and I honestly think it's even better than the original Ton 618, which is what it's going for, so I think it executes that pretty well. The background is pretty good, and the atmosphere is very much affected by all of the debris that's flying around your screen because, well, it's a black hole, it's going to be a bit messy. Also, the main part that has been shown so far, at least the most, is sort of orange tinted, or maybe more like a tan, I don't really know for sure. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it uses something other than just grayscale, which is also good, in my opinion. Like, it uses the foreground, background, and block decoration pretty well in terms of layering. And the theming not only being focused around space, but specifically a black hole that is almost as heavy as your mom is a nice breath of fresh air compared to the endless upcoming hell levels. The only real suggestion I have for the level is to aim to be more of like an azure flare of sorts, to help it stand out from the crowd of upcoming top 1s. So the reason I think this could work is because Ton 618 is an impossible level, so the closer you can get to impossible difficulty, so basically the harder the level is, the more true it is to the original. Basically, I think it could be so hard that it most likely won't be verified for a few years, and it would still retain a lot of its charm. Even if it isn't verified, it'd still be a banger impossible level, even more so than before because of the better decoration and, you know, playable gameplay that players could progress on at least. And because of this, it would more likely be a more unique upcoming top 1 open verification because it has a theme, you know, an actual theme other than just death, and could have another purpose than just to be top 1, which is to sort of just be an impossible level for fun. You know, except it actually is executed well. To focus more specifically on the decoration, it's a very intense space theme, which of course makes sense considering that Ton 618 is like a super big black hole in real life. So it actually does make sense. It's a very intense space theme, it's very fast-paced gameplay with a lot of debris sort of in the background. I also think that the song choice very much fits the level, which is Djjaner's Sparkler, which is also the Detroit Circle song, and also it's not a Slaughterhouse remake, so it's always got that going for it. The reason I think this would make a pretty good top 1 is because it has a more unique feel to it than just, you know, general intimidation. We've usually seen that used through Hell theme in sort of a more in-your-face, edgy sort of aesthetic, with levels such as Slaughterhouse that sort of do that more effectively than levels like Abyss of Darkness. Except now with this level, it's also sort of intense, but it uses space theme to sort of convey this more than just health theme. It's also pretty unique considering that even though it is a remake of an Impossible level, it's a remake that very much tries to build upon the original. In the past, when Impossible levels have been remade and verified, usually it's pretty much the exact same as the original, but just with better decoration so that it gets rated, or in Silent Clubstep's case, just no decoration basically. Or it's so radically changed from the original that it's basically not the same level anymore in cases such as Slaughterhouse and Silent Circles. But I think with the Ton 618 remake we get sort of a balance between staying faithful to the original in the best way that it can while also bringing new ideas to the table. This doesn't necessarily mean that this is my favorite upcoming top 1. I still think levels like Ascension to Heaven and Eternal Night are a bit better, but I could see this level being around for a lot longer than either of those levels because it is most likely going to be a lot harder, and I think the idea of buffing it to where it's a similar status as their Flare, or beyond, would honestly fit the level pretty well. Overall, I think Ton 618 is a very good Impossible level. It's one of my favorite Impossible levels of all time, and I'm glad it's getting a remake, and I think honestly the remake would work as another Azure Flare. And even if it doesn't, I still like it because it has pretty good decoration, let's be honest. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. The algorithm has just kind of been like destroying a bunch of YouTubers lately, and I'm included in that, so help, please. I need money. I need to pay rent, dude. I don't want to be homeless, man. That means I have to go outside, which is like a fate worse than death. While I haven't uploaded as much lately, I do plan on uploading a lot during December, so make sure you're subscribed for that. A bunch of stuff is going to go on. I'm going to try to have a few streams, sort of like a 12 days of Wavix thing. I'm going to try to get some collabs with other YouTubers, and also Cleveland is now canon. I'm sure my Discord server will have fun debating on what that means. Which, speaking of, if you would like to, you can join my Discord server. Link is in the description. It's usually a fun place, I promise. And yeah, see you in the next one.